The Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show, presented by Lake Urgent Care on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. From the Jamborees to the Superdome, your source for the most up-to-date scores and stats is right here. Now, live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio, here's Cade Wazan, Todd Black, and Jimmy Roy.
Good evening and welcome to Louisiana Prep Scoreboard, presented by Lake Urgent Care. Cade Wazan, Todd Black, and Jimmy Roy. The midway point of the regular season, already at the Week 5 mark, and we're glad to have everyone tuning in tonight. If you're listening right now on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge, know that you can also watch the show on the 104.5 ESPN YouTube channel, and soon you'll be able to catch it on Your View. Game time on Your View still in progress. Late, just about a minute and a half to play in the fourth quarter. Central leading Lafayette Christian 31-22. So we will join Your View, our Your View audience, when that game goes final.
I hope this dude wins. They'll fire him tomorrow, too.
That's a mess over there. We'll
Goodness.
talk about it, I'm sure. But
Yeah.
this game actually got close. Lafayette Christian scored and went for two, made it a 24-22 game, and then Central just broke a long run out of a wild card formation, probably just catching into about a 70-yard run to go up 2 scores.
Wildcat?
They were in a wildcat formation.
Lots of great games tonight. A lot of games a lot of teams in district play. So let's get started with some of the headlines with the opening drive.
Through tonight's top stories, this is Opening Drive on the Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show.
Some of the scores or some of the games that I had jotted down of results I really was keeping an eye on here in the Baton Rouge area and around the parishes. U-High gets a win tonight over St. Paul's. And then going from St. Paul's and staying within that district, Covington gets the win over Fontainebleau last night. Mandeville over North Shore, and now those two teams meet both 5-0 in that district next week. And I would probably say that's at least for a share of that district down there. I know that Ponchatoula probably not going to be able to play a role in that, but these two teams meeting up at 5-0 next week should be pretty interesting.
And this is going to be the first game that Mandeville has played anyone with a winning record.
Mm-hmm.
Their opponents are 4-20 combined. Now, they have been putting up some points. They're averaging 48.4 a game. Nate Shepard he's putting up video numbers. I mean,
there we go again.
It is, Todd, it's been crazy. So
27 total touchdowns on the year.
Yeah, first play of the game, he goes 80 yards. Just for the start, he had 215 yards on 7 carries in the first quarter.
So we find out there's a coach on the sideline with a controller.
Yeah.
We know that's what he's talking about.
He had 250 yards at half. He finished with 309, 4 touchdowns. He had a strip where he strips the fun. We played a lot on defense.
He does? Wow.
It's
Both ways?
Yeah. So far in his first 5 games, 77 carries, 922 yards, and 27 touchdowns.
Those aren't video game numbers. Those are Jimmy Roy-like numbers.
Shoot, I wish. I wish.
The Jimmy Roy
Maybe back in the playground days, but that'd be about it.
Bird drops their first one of the season. They lose to Parkway inside 1-5A action last night. We found out tonight Neville gets the win on the road at Sterlington.
What was that score?
You know what? Let me see if
It's
I
like 17-13 or something.
17-10. 17-10. Yeah.
Another good game while we're talking about local games last night was Ascension Catholic 14-7 over Episcopal. You know, they went 1-1 with Dunham and Episcopal. Both games were real competitive. I was talking with Troy LaBeouf today, as I know you did also, because I talked to him right after you got off with him. But they got better. Even though they were 1-1, for them to go compete and go head-to-head with 2 really good 2A teams, and they're going to get a lot of points from those, power points from them. But Ascension Catholic scored first on a 24-yard run by Chad Elsie, and then Episcopal came right back down, answered with a 3-yard touchdown run by Reed Chauvin to 7-7 at half. Ascension Catholic was able to run the ball a little in the third quarter, according to Troy. But the big play of the night came when quarterback Camille LaBeouf had a 4th and 9 on their plus 35. He founds Elsie down to the 2-yard line. Elsie scores the next play.
Attaboy, LaBeouf.
So, wait, is this also according to Troy LaBeouf?
I saw the video of that. I saw the video of that.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I'm not going to roll Troy.
You letting the dad tell you what good plays are, and just happen to have the same last name.
He did. You know what he told me? So this is what he told me about the play. I saw the video of it last night. But Troy said Chad came to his son in the huddle and said, "Throw me the ball, I got you." And he said, "Who am I to tell him no?" And he did. He made a big play, and they put together a 7-minute drive late from their -3, not to run out the clock, but it gave it back to Episcopal with a minute left and no timeouts. But the big key was holding Chauvin to 49 yards rushing. So that was a good night for Ascension Catholic.
Troy did say that although they haven't played consistently over the past 24 years, it's the first time they've beaten Episcopal in 24 years. And something, that they got a lot of respect for Coach Bourgeois over there. But this is a team that's, growing and continuing to show signs of improving each week.
And defense is pretty salty, I might add, to that for Ascension Catholic. They did a great job against Dunham, and we always know Episcopal can put up a lot of points, and obviously did a very good job against those guys.
Linebacker Mace Malonsaw had 21 tackles for Ascension Catholic. Now, if you go back to the weightlifting,
better than the safety having 21 tackles.
Yeah. When you go back to the state championships in powerlifting, and Chauvin and Malonsaw were 2 of the state champions in their class. So.
St. Charles falls tonight to St. James, and they're off to a little bit of a rough start this season.
They are, but you just wait. That's all I'm going to say. I mean, they just
I never doubt them. It's just
and it is surprising, but it's like they play St. James 15-11 or something to
very close. Yeah,
and we just know how they are. They're a young team, and when they're a young team, but their schedule doesn't accommodate youth. Right, they still are playing those tough games, and they're going to be there when it's all said and done. It's just they're that well coached, but they are off to a rough start.
And they're struggling offensively. Going into tonight, 8.3 points a game. Defense, they're allowing 18 points a game, which is good enough to win a lot in high school football. But they're struggling offensively, and like I said, 8.3 and then held to 11 tonight. Now, St. James they've played a tough schedule. You look at Dunham. Newman, St. James, who was De La Salle last week.
Well, hey, here's what people in St. Charles needs to understand. When Jimmy calls out an offense like he did St. Thomas More,
yes,
the following week
they put up 40
They
plus.
put up 40 plus.
They put up 41 at half.
So it's good news for you guys over in the plus.
That's right.
Just call the doctor.
That's right.
Franklin Parish, speaking of a team that's had a tough non-district schedule, they fall tonight 51-47 to Ouachita, so their first loss of the season as well.
What's that score again?
51-47.
Really?
And it was a shootout. Look, it went back, forth. Neither team could get a separation. I mean, it stayed within 2 scores the whole night.
I think this is one of Ouachita's better teams that they've had. They've had some good-looking teams, but I think this is definitely one of them.
Montrell Connor is a quarterback?
Junior. And C.J. Dade, I think, is the running back, both transfers from St. Fred. Man, the more I look up in that area, this team's got a transfer from Neville. This one's got 2 from St. Fred. This one's got 2 from Sterling. This one's got them from Bastrop. This one's got them from Wassman. I mean, is it just a free run up there to do what they want?
I think they all decided to start joining West Monroe.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. But I mean, it's everywhere. Everywhere you look, time and time again. It's crazy. But they have 2 defensive tackles up front, and Dylan Berrymon and A.J. Washington. They're both 315 pounds, so they're 630 across the front line. Now, Berryman, he's the one who snowballed after the summer as far as college offers. He's got them from LSU, Texas, Florida, Oregon. And they're a year older also because they played a lot of sophomores. They've grown up. They're juniors now. It's going to help them, and they'll even get better next year.
Let's shoot some scores at you from our guy, David Clinton, down in
Centerville?
In Centerville area. We got Centerville 56-8, Jeanerette 54-8 over West St. Mary, and North Iberville wins again 30-8 over Vinton.
Well, we'll get you caught up throughout
Thanks,
the night.
David.
We appreciate that. We appreciate everyone giving us heads up. Look, throughout the night, you're going to hear some highlights from each region, but a full scoreboard is available for you if you're watching on Your View or the 104.5 ESPN YouTube channel. The ticker on the bottom of the screen will give you a full statewide scoreboard. But let's get you caught up on what's happening around the state, and we'll start first with our look at the capital city.
The Capital City Scoreboard, insured by State Farm.
Central beats Lafayette Christian 31-22. Dutchtown's a 24-21 winner over Sandoval. Donaldsonville over White Castle 27-8. Madison Prep defeats Parkview 54-31. University High 29, St. Paul's 12. Zachary is a 24-6 winner over Opelousas. East Ascension defeats Live Oak 18-14. And Denham Springs over Southern Lab 38-12.
The New Orleans Bayou Scoreboard, presented by Investar Bank.
St. James over St. Charles 15-11. Shaw defeats De La Salle 31-13. Brother Martin over Rummel 17-13. Holy Cross defeats Jesuit 21-7. John Curtis over Warren Easton 26-7. Carr and St. Aug play tomorrow night. Vermilion Catholic defeats Riverside 49-34. And Terrebonne over Destrehan 30-21.
The Acadiana Scoreboard, fueled by frogs at Magnolia Beach.
St. Thomas More over Westgate 48-6. Cecilia defeats Notre Dame 50-46. Iowa over St. Louis 54-8. Welsh defeats Eunice 39-16. Acadiana shuts out Sulphur 45-0.
The North and Central Louisiana Scoreboard, pumped by Peak Performance.
Huntington a point better than Evangel 28-27. Menden over Loyola 28-13. Ouachita defeats Franklin Parish 51-47. Neville is a 17-10 winner over Sterlington. West Monroe blanks Scotlandville 50-0. Wassman over Carroll 20-15. And Kinder defeats Logansport 26-12.
The North Shore Scoreboard, connected by Rev.
Hammond over Slidell 42-14. Amite defeats Kentwood 28-25. Northlake Christian 28, Robridge 7. Pine shuts out Varnado 44-0. Pope John Paul defeats St. Martin's 28-21. Franklinton over Joel Sumner 42-39. Lakeshore is a 31-26 winner over Salmon. And Mandeville blanks North Shore 42-0.
Don't have time for a stomach virus?
I don't have time to be sick today.
When you're sick after hours or weekends, you don't have time to wait around. Save time and money and feel better faster with Lake Urgent Care and Lake After Hours.
BRAC teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. BRAC, your #1 park system in the nation.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
At Relief Windows, we're more than windows. We're windows, doors, hardy plank, and vinyl siding. But our number one product is always...
Coach Brett Beard from Denham Springs High School, and you're listening to Louisiana Prep Scoreboard on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Welcome back to the Week 5 edition of Louisiana Prep Scoreboard, presented by Lake Urgent Care. We're on the 104.5 ESPN YouTube channel.
Todd, are you through eating?
No, I'm not. I'm going to eat another one. This is probably a grilled or smoked chicken breast wrapped in bacon, stuffed with spinach dip.
Well, it's got spinach, so it's healthy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's healthy.
It's like I said, is it low fat? And you said it depends on how many you eat.
This is a special order.
Oh, man, it's delicious.
From South Plains Food Company up in Zachary. It's right across the street from the baseball field. Call Joel Frost for tailgating, catering, anything that you need. Going inside the restaurant is really a unique place. They have live music tomorrow starting at 5 o'clock out on the patio. But Joel hooked us up with some chicken thighs, some boudin balls, some smoked pork belly, crackling. It was
chicken wings, outstanding.
Chicken wings, red beans and rice. It's just unbelievable. But go by and support South Plains Food Company. Joel does a great job.
And I'm sure they got some hydration over there for coaches that have been in a game where they were down 21-0 and come back and win.
Well, that's probably a good place to be if you're on the winning side. And that would be where the Dutchtown Griffins find themselves, as they are now 5-0 on the season. Their offensive coordinator, Mike Janis, now joins us after the win, 24-21 over Santa Maria. Coach, congratulations on this win. Thanks so much for joining us tonight.
Absolutely, guys. Thank you.
Man, you had to, it was a tale of two halves, man. And how do you think the prior two games, nothing against those teams, the one's a struggling team and the other one's a new team, how do you think those two teams affected your preparation for tonight?
You know, I think the guys were prepared. When you come off winning big games, like when you winning big in games like that, back-to-back weeks, you guys get a false sense of confidence. You know, they think that at this point they can just show up and make it happen. So getting the attitudes right and getting their minds right and focused for what was going to be a battle, you know, I don't think we got that done until we really got on the field and got punched in the mouth and had to wake up a little bit.
I think, Todd, if you look at the Dutchtown schedule, I know it's hard for teams like Dutchtown to schedule, but I really don't like the way the schedule sets up. You know, you played Madison Prep in week 1, which was a really good win. Ponchatoula, another good opponent, but they're struggling this year. And then you had 2 gimmies, and then you go to an open date. That's a district open date. So it's just a bad stretch to where you don't really know by week 6, 7, going into week 7, they'll be going into it. I'm not sure that Dutchtown knows who they are yet. Is that fair?
Well, Coach Janis, I think that's a good question to ask you because tonight was a tale of 2 halves. The defense really struggled with stops. The offense struggled with continuing drives. The second half, I don't know that Santa Maria got a first down, and then the offense started rolling. So what do you think you guys' identity is at this point?
I think we really learned a lot about ourselves this game. Nobody ever wants to be down 21-0 at halftime, but in that situation, our guys had to look themselves in the mirror and answer a lot of questions. What are we going to do when faced with this adversity? What kind of team are we going to be? And I'm really proud of the guys for the way they stuck together. The mentality, the attitudes on the sideline was never anything negative. They all the whole time like had each other's back. They were just ready to go out there and fight for each other. And we learned a lot about what it's going to take to be successful going forward. And I think our guys, first and foremost, having the mindset to stay focused on the task at hand, to rally behind each other and go and play hard-nosed football, that's going to set us up for what kind of team we're going to be. We're going to be a team that's going to be physical, and we had to be physical in the second half, and we haven't been tested like that the last couple of weeks, and we had to find out if we could do it.
Todd, I've coached with Coach Mastretta for 7 years, and he never panics on the sideline. You've never seen he plays like Lou Holtz on the sideline, but you never see. I think kids can feed off of his demeanor a whole lot.
God, I hope not.
Watch out, you might get a text like I just did. Coach Dylan Champagne, he may be the best passing quarterback that Dutchtown's ever had. Talk about how his growth has been from last year to this year. I can remember going to a 7-on-7 while Cameron was at a baseball camp and talking with Guy, and he was in a battle last year with Ethan O'Quinn, and one of the things that Guy was concerned about was whether Champagne, because he has such a big arm, had a tendency to force some throws maybe and was more turnover prone, I guess you could say. But Dylan's really taken a step, and just mention how much he's grown in the last year, Coach.
His maturity has been huge this year. It's something that he really needs to work on, and just understanding what kind of guy he could be. He's got a great arm. He can make every throw, and tonight he made a lot of really good throws. Even when we were down, he was making good passes. I think he made 2 bad passes on the night. We missed a touchdown, a little overthrow, and another one on an interception, a little miscommunication between him and the receiver. But even when we were struggling there on offense, I thought he was making some good throws, and he stayed positive. He was a good leader tonight on the sideline, telling the guys, rallying those guys, telling them, look, let's go back out there. I got you. We're going to make it happen. And his maturity really showed up tonight.
And up front, getting Christian Gautreaux back from ACL, the Jamboree, I think it was last year, has to be big for you.
Christian did a great job tonight. You could tell a little fatigue setting in there in the fourth quarter. He pushed through it, and all the big guys did great. Christian and Matthew Travis, who's our other tackle, we paired them up a lot tonight, running some tackle over sets, and those guys just wore down that defensive line. I mean, Santa Maria got theirs on occasion, but they did a really good job blocking that front tonight.
And I really liked your combination of running the football, and then as soon as the safety got down in the box a little bit too much, you kind of made him pay for it with some deep balls. And before we let you go, talk about Rylan Mayo. He's not young, he's a senior, but he's a smaller guy. But he dropped the ball early, but boy, did he really step up big on that kickoff return.
Yeah, Rylan's a great player, and you see him out there, and I don't know if he's taller than 5'4" and weighs 100 pounds, but he plays like a monster, man. He gets out there, and he is really hard to cover. We give him a lot of freedom in some of his routes that he runs, and just letting him go out there and be a player, and him and Dylan's relationship and their I mean, they've been playing JV together for the last 2 years. You know, the communication with those two is great, and they're on another page. And Ryland is just, he's tough, man. That kickoff return was huge. We needed it, and he made it happen.
So being a Santa Maria alum, does that, does it kind of, is it a double-edged sword when you go out and you win one, or since you're coaching, it's not really a double-edged sword? You're happy with the W, I know.
Look, this game means a lot to me. You know, if we lose, a lot of people that I know that are still big Santa Maria fans that are going to see me and have plenty to say about it. So always winning this one matters. You know, I love coming away with a win on every Friday night, but beating Santa Maria is a big game for me. And, you know, it just, I got some friends over there and know them coaches well. And, you know, they're great guys.
Yep.
They put together a great game plan tonight. It's just, it's always nice to get a win. It feels good not to have to go face people and, you know, and hear that we got you.
That's right. That's right. Well, man, hey, you guys are doing a great job. Coach Harrell over on the defense, and all you guys, y'all got a great staff, of course, along with head coach, Coach Mastretta. Wish you the best of luck from here on out, and thanks for joining us tonight.
Thanks, guys.
That's 3 straight games for Santa Maria that's been close. Go back to the JFK game that was decided in the last minute. Scotlandville last week where they had to come down,
29-28
come back from being down, win by a point, and then to lose a lead like they did tonight is tough for Santa Maria.
Livonia was up on Catholic Point Capee 26-0, and Catholic Point Capee comes back to win 42-34. So Dutchtown wasn't the only team coming back from a big deficit.
That surprises me that they fell that far behind Livonia.
Champaign, he must be from up the bayou because down the bayou is Champagne.
It could be. Here we go again. They're from the Hondville area. So, you know, it could be matter of fact, the PA announcer calls it champagne. And he corrects, you know, because he plays baseball. Dylan's a catcher for the baseball team who has some offers, but I think he's starting to fall in love with football as well. And, man, I'm telling you, he put some passes on his receivers in the first half. He could have easily got down on himself because it's a game of momentum. Yeah. And I kept telling him, I said, hey, it's a game of one play, and this thing's going to turn around. And that's just the way high school football is. And, boy, when the momentum shifted, you could definitely tell.
He has a big arm.
Yep.
He's a good-looking tall kid. He has the potential to play college football.
Look, you never want your team to be down 3 scores, but I think what an opportunity that was at the halfway point, and you can go one of 2 ways. We're down in it. This is over. This is done. You know, or you can go, all right, we got 2 more quarters to come out here, and that's what they did. So, you love seeing that opportunity that you have at this point in the season, be it week 5, and you can look back and go, hey, look, we've seen these situations where it wasn't on our side. Things weren't going our way, and we turned that around. As you mentioned, defense gets stops. The offense gets rolling. So, and you never want to see that, but I think in some ways as a coach, you're happy to see what your team was able to do in that situation.
And we always talk about you find out who your leaders are when you're losing. You don't find out who your leaders are when you're winning. It's easy to lead when you win.
Yeah.
But when you're losing and you hear comments on the sideline is like, hey, let's go. Come on, let's pick it up. And that's the kind of thing that catches your ear and makes you raise your eyebrow a little bit and say, hey, there's some leadership here. And some of that leadership necessarily wasn't from guys that were playing. But they have 30-something seniors, and I think that that's a good point. Yeah. It's a big
and I also
bonus.
think staff continuity has been pretty good for Coach Mastretta down there for the last 4 or 5 years now. He's been able to keep his staff basically intact, and I think that's showing.
Yep. And since you're mentioning that, we talked about Chris Harrell, and up until the last drive, I don't believe Santa Maria got a first down in the second half. And they made some good adjustments, and they just came with a little bit more intensity in the second half. And as Coach Janice said, they were more physical, and that ended up being a big win for them to get to 5-0, especially about to go on a bye week, as you mentioned, Jimmy.
Let's take a timeout. When we get back, more scores, more coaches, and more analysis of Week 5 of the prep football season here in the state of Louisiana with Louisiana Prep Scoreboard, presented by Lake Urgent Care on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and your view.
Don't have time for a cold? A cut? Those allergies? Or a sprain?
I really don't have time for this.
Lake Urgent Care is here to help with easy, convenient online check-in, virtual visits, or walk-in care. Plus, we're kid-friendly and open 7 days a week, including holidays and weekends. When you don't have the time to be sick or hurt, feel better faster at Lake Urgent Care and Lake After Hours.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
Don't have time for cold or flu?
I don't have time for the cold or the flu.
We're here to help with easy, convenient online check-in, virtual visits, or walk-in care. When you don't have time to be sick, feel better faster at Lake Urgent Care and Lake After Hours.
Covering prep football from West Monroe to West Side. The Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show with Cade, Todd, and Jimmy. Presented by Lake Urgent Care on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Coming up in just a couple of minutes after this scoreboard, we'll speak with Victoria's head coach David Brewerton from Zachary as they get the win over Opelousas in non-district action. But let's get you caught up on all the scores from the regions, and we'll start first in the capital city.
The Capital City Scoreboard, insured by State Farm.
Central defeats Lafayette Christian 31-22. Dutchtown over Sandoval 24-21. Donaldsonville defeats White Castle 27-8. Madison Prep over Parkview 54-31. University High 29. St. Paul is 12. Zachary is a 24-6 win over Opelousas. East Ascension defeats Live Oak 18-14. Denham Springs over Southern Lab 38-12.
The New Orleans Bayou Scoreboard, presented by Investar Bank.
St. James over St. Charles 15-11. Shaw defeats De La Salle 31-13. Brother Martin over Rummel 17-13. Holy Cross defeats Jesuit 21-7. John Curtis over Warren Easton 26-7. Carr and St. Aug play tomorrow night. Vermilion Catholic is a 49-34 winner over Riverside. And Terrebonne over Destrehan 30-21.
The Acadiana Scoreboard, fueled by frogs at Magnolia Beach.
St. Thomas More over Westgate 48-6. St. Edmund defeat Opelousas Catholic 46-42. Cecilia over Notre Dame 50-46. Iowa defeats St. Louis 54-8. Welsh is a 39-16 winner over Eunice. Catholic New Iberia 38. Lake Charles College Prep 27. And Acadiana shuts out Sulphur 45-0.
The North and Central Louisiana Scoreboard, pumped by Peak Performance.
Huntington defeated Evangel 28-27. Mendon is a 28-13 winner over Loyola Prep. Ouachita defeats Franklin Parish 51-47. Neville over Sterlington 17-10. West Monroe blanks Scotlandville 50-0. Wassman is a 20-15 winner over Carroll. And Kender defeats Logansport 26-12.
The North Shore Scoreboard, connected by Rev.
Hammond's a 42-14 winner over Slidell. Amite over Kentwood 28-25. Northlake Christian defeats Burr Bridge 28-7. Pine shuts out Varnado 44-0. Pope John Paul 28. St. Martin's 21. Franklinton's a 42-39 winner over Jewel Sumner. Lakeshore over Solomon 31-26. And Mandeville shuts out North Shore 42-0.
All right, welcome back to Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Week 5. Thanks to Skip getting our scores for us throughout the night. That score ticker on the bottom of the screen giving you a full statewide scoreboard. Let's jump on the hotline right now with a victorious head coach, David Brewerton. They get the win tonight, 24-6 over Opelousas. Coach, just found this stat. With Jimmy Roy on campus, Zachary scored 0 points. When Jimmy Roy left campus, Zachary scores 24. Is that the difference in the ball game?
I'll stay away if it is.
Right. Hey, Mama said there'd be nights like these, you know. It is what it is. Just get the win. You know what I mean? Just get the win.
I was wondering when I left there, did I just watch some ugly football that set the game back a few years, or did I just watch two heavyweights slugging punches toe-to-toe? Because, I mean, it was a war. But when you go back and you look at it, and I know I don't have to tell you this, but your starting field position in the first half was plus 21, plus 45, plus 9, minus 34, and plus 38, and you had 0 points. It wasn't pretty, but it was effective. You talked to me on Tuesday saying that you wanted to get it to the second half. You wanted to try to wear them down because they're a little bit of a different team when they start getting tired, and it worked because you took advantage and win 24-6 in the second half.
Yeah. Let me say this. You're talking about a football team that is incredibly talented, very experienced, and have won at the absolute highest level in their classification, right? So as a game plays out, because of that, you're just not going to get anything from them. They're not going to shut it down. They're not going to get frustrated. They've been in those really big games before, and so I think the difference was trying to be able to drag them into deep water and take that thing over in the fourth quarter, which is exactly what took place. And we were bad early on offense. There's no doubt about it, but certainly pleased with the way our defense played all night long. I thought they were tremendous, and then offense got in a little groove later on in the game and went ahead and put it away. So very proud of our football team tonight. It was a really big win for us.
Take us through the second half, because the first half was just ugly. We're not even going to talk about it. Because,
you've made your point.
Yeah, I'm not going to mention the 2 missed field goals, the blocked field goal, the 2 muff. We're not going to talk about that. Let's go to the second half and what changed for you.
Damn.
Well, thank you for bringing all that back up to me. I appreciate that. I tell you what's funny. So we're at halftime, and I said, well, fellas, here's the deal now. In the 11 years I've been here, it's the absolute worst I've ever seen us play on offense. And it's 0-0. We're not getting our heads kicked in, and we're getting the football first in the second half. So everybody take a deep breath. Everything's going to be fine. Let's have a great return when we come out and go drive down and at least move the chains and then see what happens. So we get a great return out to the 43-yard line. We're feeling great. First snap, over the head, 30-yard loss on first down. I said, well, must have been a hell of a speech, Brew. Great job with that one. But even then, our guys just kind of calmed down and played, and it was 0-0 for a while, and then we finally kicked the field goal, and then, on the very first play from scrimmage from them on the next series, he goes 80, and that kind of back. If you miss a line, which we did, he hit it, and we didn't have anybody to catch him. So now you're down 6-3 all over again, and after that, though, we had a couple great drives, and really kind of took it over going into the fourth quarter and started running the football really, really effectively and ended up kneeling it out deep in their territory as the game ended. So, like I said, played much better in the second half offensively. Played great on defense all night, but played better in the second half on offense and got the win.
I thought defensively, like you said, they were outstanding. And when talking to you this week, two of the guys that you mentioned real quick when I asked you who are some guys that you wanted to feature, you mentioned Sean Hamilton, your defensive lineman. He's a 3-year starter, big-bodied guy, the leader of your defense. And you mentioned Tyson Kimball about how much work he's put into the offseason to get bigger and more physically strong to be able to handle the inside position. And I thought those guys played really well tonight.
They did. Both of them had outstanding nights and were certainly catalysts on that side of the ball.
I think it's fun, Todd, and Coach Brew knows this. I've known Tyson since he was a little bitty kid. I mean, like young. And just to see him grow into the man he's becoming and to watch him get to fulfill his dreams, I guess you could say, is really cool. It's something like when, I was at Brock's the day he was at the hospital the day he was born. It'll be really cool to go watch him play some in these next couple of years. So I'm proud of Tyson and what he's been able to do.
As long as they're playing good. If they're playing bad, you're going to be like, these kids suck.
No, because I don't have a dog in the hunt, so I'm good with it. So, Coach, offensively, you mentioned on Tuesday Cliff Webb. He's your only returning offensive line guy. He has some state offers.
Yep. Yeah. He had a good night tonight, and we really started to lean on him. We were running the ball behind him a lot down the stretch, and they figured some things out up front and started to block things a little differently than we were blocking them earlier on in the game, and it really started to pay off for us. And, he's a guy up there that's played a lot of snaps for us over the years, and therefore, he's one of our captains and certainly showed the leadership that we needed him to show.
And our State Farm Student Athlete of the Week, presented by State Farm agents Drew Dillio, Brian Moe, Byron Gill, and Mitch Mueller, goes to Zachary quarterback Caleb Gonzalez. Going into tonight, he was had 688 yards, 6 touchdowns, only 1 interception, completing about 61.5% of his passes. I think he has a 4.2 GPA, 24 on his ACT, certified medical assistant, and certified in CPR. He's an avid outdoorsman, hunting and fishing. He's involved with youth league football teams around. He speaks 2 different languages, and he also cooks sometimes at South Plains Food Company. So tell us a little bit about Caleb, Coach.
Yeah. That's quite a bit of info you put together there, Jimmy. That's nice. That is nice.
Hey, I reached out.
He's got some good sources.
That's right.
I like it. Yeah, Caleb's one of those guys that's 4th year in our program and is now the full-time starter at quarterback for us. Threw for over 1,000 yards as a junior, and then this year he's was voted a team captain for us, and he's one of those guys, one of those quarterbacks that plays with a lot of moxie. Guys rally around him because of the way he carries himself and his work ethic. And I'm proud of him. He's certainly a kid that has come through the system, was a starting quarterback on our freshman team and had a great year, and then had a great year as a JV kid, as a sophomore, and he's really just come through the program and done some really good things and matured and certainly a leader for us on the offensive side of the ball. Great kid, a great set of parents, and actually does a tremendous job mentoring his little brother Cole growing up as well. So he's one of those kids that you love having in the program, and we're happy to have him without question.
Brew, I'm not profiling, but I'm saying I want you to know, little known fact about me, I subbed 3 days in Spanish. So I know his second language is Spanish. But my substituting had nothing to do with it because I don't know any. I do know there's a masculine and a feminine language in Spanish, and I don't understand why.
Todd's a substitute teacher that everybody's throwing spitballs at when he turns his back.
Oh, hell no. They love me. No,
right.
We watch all kind of movies. They are appropriate, but we watch movies.
Well, Coach, this is a heck of a win.
We watch a lot of Huddle, too.
Coach, this was a big win for you. I don't know if people around here realize just how good Opelousas was, and to go toe-to-toe with them in the first half and be able to pull it out in the second half is a really good win for you guys.
Yep, certainly very proud of our kids and the staff, and like you just said, it's a really, really good win for us. It's going to be a good win for us PowerPoint-wise as well, and it was a war we needed to play in. That's three wars we've been in with Acadiana, Karen Crow, and now Opelousas, and we come out of that thing 3-1. And, ready to get in a district next week. So we certainly needed to play in another game like that. It's only going to help us down the road.
Hey, I don't know how well you got to talk to the Opelousas coach, but we had him on last year, Coach Jimmy Zachary. He is a character, boy, let me tell you.
That's definitely a pretty good way to put it.
And look, let's put it this way. Opelousas is 1-3. Do not be surprised at all if you see them playing in December in the Dome.
Yeah, no doubt.
I agree.
I'm going to tell you right now, if there's a 4A team that's going to beat them, holy smokes. That team is loaded, and it's loaded in all the places that you got to be loaded at. I mean, it's the running back is special, but the quarterback, when he pulls the zone read or he runs quarterback counter or he gets out on the edge, he is awfully special. And you've got a receiver committed to Ole Miss, and you got a D lineman committed to Miami. I mean, they got players everywhere out there, and so I can definitely see them making a strong run to repeat.
Well, thank you, Coach Bruin. Congratulations.
Thank you, guys. We certainly appreciate y'all having us, man.
Merci beaucoup.
Whatever.
You guys talk about different languages. I was trying to give you a little French.
Look, guys, I was going through the scores as we're talking. Southwood. Bossier beat them 16-14.
Wow.
They're close, man. They're competing.
What's that game? So like 40?
I don't know. But they're competing, man. They're going to win. They're going to win.
Zachary opens district play up next week in 4-5A against Scotlandville. And certainly we are keeping our eyes down the line. There's some big ones coming up. They got Scotlandville, Liberty, Woodlawn, and then the last 2 weeks of the season at Central, and then hosting Catholic of Baton Rouge.
Yeah, they drew the unlucky number in that district because Central and Catholic's going to have a break. They're not playing them back-to-back, and Zachary does.
And it's a Thursday night against Catholic.
Yes.
Okay. All right, we'll take a timeout. More scores and more stats and coaches coming up here on this Week 5 edition of Louisiana Prep Scoreboard, presented by Lake Urgent Care on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and Your View.
At Louisiana Turf Cleaning, our number one priority is athlete safety. We specialize in sanitizing and general cleaning maintenance of artificial turf sports fields. From the constant wear and tear on the field to the bacteria, mold, and viruses that get under those turf fibers, we take care of it all. We also remove any unseen metal in the turf that could potentially cut an athlete. For more information, call me, Kerry Myers, to get a quote today, 504-453-6950. And let Louisiana Turf Cleaning keep your playing surface safe, 504-453-6950.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Do you think you have COVID-19?
I'm worried I may have COVID.
We're open 7 days a week for both rapid COVID and antibody testing. Life is busy. You don't have time. Get your results fast at Lake Urgent Care and Lake After Hours.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs, even in the case of an after-hours emergency. The light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
Don't have time for a new rash?
I don't have time for this.
We're here to help with convenient virtual visits on your computer or any mobile device. If you don't have time.
Now back to the Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show with Cade, Todd, and Jimmy. Presented by Lake Urgent Care on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
Welcome back. Week 5 edition of the Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show. Cade Wazan, Todd Black, and Jimmy Roy. Looking back at the Baton Rouge area tonight before we go to our top of the hour break. U-High gets the win over St. Paul's, 29-12. Denham Springs, their best offensive performance of the season, 38-12 over Lab, and that snaps Lab's 14-game winning streak.
Yeah, that's a good win for Coach Beard, even from a PowerPoint standpoint, because you know Lab's going to win 7, 8, 9 games. Central with a good win over Lafayette Christian, 31-22. Big plays dominated that game for Central. Score I'm waiting to see also, and I haven't seen it yet. I haven't been looking, but Plaquemine, West Feliciana, does anybody have that one yet? And then Madison Prep got a win over Parkview, if I'm not mistaken.
54-31, I think is what I saw.
54-31. You know, Madison Prep played that brutal non-conference schedule, all 5A teams. Kentwood with falls to A meet tonight, 28-25, and you know that's one of them old small school games that you'd like to go to. The schools are 15 minutes apart, right down Interstate 55, and so that's a fun environment to go to.
Let's get Skip on the mic real quick, Ryan. With you got the score for Westville?
Plaquemine defeated Westville 40-21.
And tell us the score of Airline and Captain Shreve.
Airline defeated Captain Shreve 69-68.
And that's not overtime, correct?
No, that is in regulation.
How do you score 68 points and lose?
Last year it was 60-35.
Think of the
The other
defensive
team scores 69.
Yeah. The defensive coordinators are going to be going just absolutely nuts over that one.
Just 4 quarters.
West Side, we'll announce it before we go to break. West Side with a 30-24 win over Raven Point in overtime.
Hold up. He told me that they were attempting a 65-yard field goal to win, and it was 24-24.
Well, they must have missed it, and they went to overtime.
Maybe so. I wasn't anticipating.
You thought he was going to make it.
I did. I wasn't
Special
anticipating
teams
the
is
miss.
always important. We'll take a timeout. Another hour to go here, Week 5 edition, Louisiana Pro Scoreboard.
Don't have time for a cold? A cut? Those allergies? Or a sprain?
I really don't have time for this.
Lake Urgent Care is here to help with easy, convenient online check-in, virtual visits, or walk-in care. Plus, we're kid-friendly and open 7 days a week, including holidays and weekends. When you don't have the time to be sick or hurt, feel better faster at Lake Urgent Care and Lake After Hours.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Brack, your #1 park system in the nation.
The Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show, presented by Lake Urchin Care on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. From the Jamborees to the Superdome, your source for the most up-to-date scores and stats is right here. Now, live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio, here's Cade Wazan, Todd Black, and Jimmy Roy.
Hour 2 here on the Week 5 edition of Louisiana Prep Scoreboard, presented by Lake Urchin Care. Cade Wazan, Todd Black, and Jimmy Roy. Producing tonight's program, we got Cassie Spazzali on video. We got Ryan Kennedy on audio, and Skip has your scores. We'll get a couple of coaches trying to line up Coach Jenkins, Coach Davis, trying to get out to the River Parish areas. There's some big wins for our friends out towards the New Orleans area tonight. Lutcher, I think, gets a shutout tonight over Vanderbilt Catholic. St. James gets a win over St. Charles. So good to speak with those guys. Hopefully we can connect with them in just a couple minutes.
That Catholic League tonight, Rummel going in is 4-0. Brother Martin loses last week 17-5 to Jesuit. Brother Martin wins tonight 17-13.
They're just going to beat each other up this whole
Holy
season.
Cross and Jesuit, which is known as the rivalry. I think this was their 103rd meeting. Jesuit comes in 3-1 record. Holy Cross 1-3. Holy Cross gets a 21-7 win. John Curtis gets a big win over Warren Easton, 26-7. They bounce back after losing to Rummel. I think you're going to see a whole lot of back and forth in that district all season long. They're going to beat up on each other. You have a premier game tomorrow in St. Aug hosting Carr. That one's going to be really interesting. St. Aug is much improved with Robert Valdez as the head coach. They're coming. You just got to give them a little bit of time.
Not much time.
Not much.
Ready. But, hey, Jimmy, do you know who the winner of the Squirrel Bowl was? Come on. Come on. You saw it, don't you?
I do. Hold on. I have it wrote down, the Squirrel Bowl. I do have it wrote down somewhere. Oh, Buckeye. Buckeye beat Menard 27-20 to win the Squirrel Bowl.
Now go back.
Do you know why it's played on a Thursday night?
Because it's squirrel season.
It's because of squirrel season, so everybody can go to the camp, go hunting this weekend.
So I was telling people that this week. Cassie may have been a bit of a test. I was telling people this week that there is such a thing where they're out on a Friday, right? Almost
yes.
I mean, for the squirrel hunting season.
They literally play on a Thursday night so they can all go the opening weekend of squirrel season.
Is there a dove bowl somewhere and a deer bowl?
Probably so up North Louisiana somewhere.
Find it.
A mallard bowl.
Yeah, maybe somewhere around Transylvania. Let's take our first trek this hour around the state, get you caught up on some scores, and we'll start first in the capital city.
The Capital City Scoreboard, insured by State Farm.
Central over Lafayette Christian 31-22. Dutchtown's a 24-21 winner over Sandoval. Donaldsonville defeats White Castle 27-8. Madison Prep is a 54-31 winner over Parkview. University High 29, St. Paul 12. Zachary is a 24-6 winner over Opelousas. East Ascension 18-14 over Live Oak. And Denham Springs 38, Southern Lab 12.
The New Orleans Bayou Scoreboard, presented by Investar Bank.
St. James 15-11 winner over St. Charles. Shaw defeats De La Salle 31-13. Brother Martin over at Rummel 17-13. Holy Cross defeats Jesuit 21-7. John Curtis over at Warren Easton 26-7. Carr and St. Aug will play tomorrow night. Vermilion Catholic 49, Riverside 34. Terrebonne 30, Destrehan 21.
The Acadiana Scoreboard, fueled by frogs at Magnolia Beach.
St. Thomas More over Westgate 48-6. St. Edmund 46, Opelousas Catholic 42. Cecilia is a 50-46 winner over Notre Dame. Iowa defeats St. Louis 54-8. Welsh is a 39-16 winner over Eunice. Catholic New Iberia defeats Lake Charles College Prep 38-27. Acadiana blanks Sulphur 45-0. And Kaplan over Loreauville 40-18.
The North and Central Louisiana Scoreboard. Pumped by peak performance.
Huntington a point better than Evangel 28-27. Mendon defeats Loyola Prep 28-13. Washita 51, Franklin Parish 47. Neville is a 17-10 winner over Sterlington. West Monroe blanks Scotlandville 50-0. Wassman over Carroll 20-15. Airline defeats Captain Shreve 69-68. And Kender over Logansport 26-12.
The North Shore Scoreboard, connected by Rev.
Hammond over Slidell 42-14. Amite defeats Kentwood 28-25. Northlake Christian 28. Robridge 7. Pine is a 44-0 winner over Varnado. Hope John Paul defeats St. Martin 28-21. Franklinton over Jewel Sumner 42-39. Lakeshore is a 31-26 winner over Solomon. And Mandeville shuts out North Shore 42-0.
Thank you, Skip, getting our scores tonight. And if you're missing something, watch us on the 104.5 ESPN YouTube channel or Your View. You'll see that ticker on the bottom of the screen, and you'll get a complete statewide scoreboard for Week 5. All around the state, every final is going to be there. You know, we mentioned that, was it 9-5A down in the down in the New Orleans area is a tough district. We'll mention some of the other ones that are going to be pretty competitive towards the end of the season as well. But I do believe we have our guest of this hour. We got, all right, let's go ahead and jump on the hotline. And for the first time this season, we welcome in the head coach of Lutcher, Coach Dwayne Jenkins. They get the win over Vanderbilt Catholic tonight. Coach, congratulations on the win. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you. I'm glad to join y'all this season.
Coach, just a big win tonight. Coming in, Vanderbilt Catholic 4-0, y'all 3-0. Thought it'd be a little more low scoring on both sides, although you guys got a shutout coming into it. Vanderbilt Catholic was only allowing 8.5 a game, and you guys were allowing only 6 points a game. But you returned 10 of 11 guys on your offense, and they were able to put up 33 tonight and get a big win.
Yeah, and really the story of tonight was obviously our defense. All offensive guys, we showed flashes of being really good at times, and we had some times where we weren't very good, but defensively, we were solid all night long. Our front really got after Vanderbilt, held their great running back, Jalen Coleman, to limited first downs, not even limited yards. We did an outstanding job on that side of the ball, and offensively, we did enough. At times, we looked really good, but there were some times where it was really bad.
We've had some opportunities to call you this year, but Jimmy chose to call you tonight because Vanderbilt Catholic is Cade's alma mater.
I knew that. I knew that it was Cade's alma mater. But look, and we knew kind of coming into tonight that they were going to be really excited. Coach Wallace has done a great job of getting them excited, and they were a confident football team that played really good football this year up until this point. But we wanted to kind of come out and maybe show a little bit. Like we think we're pretty good. We've kind of if we can fly under the radar, we kind of have flown under the radar so far this season. And we found different ways to win different games so far through the early part of the season. And tonight we really just wanted to come out and get off to a good start. Like I said, we had some really good drives early. We were able to overcome some mistakes, and we had the 20-0 lead at halftime. And in the second half, we kind of bogged down a little bit offensively, but we were able to get something on. We were able to make a couple of big plays and get some scores to put the game away.
Well, he mentioned Jalen Coleman, and for those who don't know, he's the all-time leading rusher in Vanderbilt Catholic history with over 4,500 yards. He's a 4-year starter, almost 600 yards going into tonight. He's a state champ in the 200-meter and third in the 100-meter. So he's one of those guys that if he gets a crease, he can go. He had a 98-yard touchdown run a couple of weeks ago. But, Coach, you talk about your defense. Rashad Sterling was injured late in the season, if I remember correctly, and your team kind of changed who they were without him. He's back, Houston commit. Talk about him.
Rashad's a dominant football player, and obviously he had an impact on the end of our season last year. He went out after the Week 8 game, so we didn't have him for the last 2 weeks of the regular season, and we didn't have him throughout the playoffs. He rehabbed. He's come back. He's bigger. than he was last year. He looks like a Division I defensive end. He's 6'4", 245 pounds. He can run, he can chase, he can get after the passer. But one of the things that kind of gets underrated in high school sometimes when you get those guys that play on the edge like that is he's really good against the run. He knows how to take on double teams, squeeze down blocks, get extension on guys, and he just does a good job of being a technician besides just being a great athlete that can play the position. We've got another guy who plays inside of him that we think the world of is Caden Parquette. He's a junior for us. He's a 3-year starter. He was a guy who came in and started for us in 2022 in the playoffs when we had an injury at nose guard as a freshman. He started the quarterfinal semis and state championship game as a freshman for us, and he has been dominant this season from the nose guard position. And if he was just a couple of ticks bigger, taller, he would be getting all kind of attention because he is a dominant force. And I'm not going to leave out my guy, Marcus Gibson, who's our third defensive lineman that starts for us. He's kind of gotten guy in that group. He's a senior who has put in his time and has really worked hard and is having a great senior season up front.
So let's flip to the offensive side of the ball, and I want to ask you an honest question, obviously. I want you to evaluate your son, Zach, at quarterback, and what do you think he can improve on, and what do you like? What do you think he has been doing
really well?
Really well, yeah.
Well, I'll say one of the things he's done really well this season, he's protected the football. And that's always a big key from the quarterback position. I tease people. I said I train my quarterbacks to be doctors. Their first rule is to do no harm, and he's done that. He's really kept us. Sometimes I got to reel him in because he wants to go out there and be Patrick Mahomes and start flipping balls over people's heads and doing.
Don't they all,
bro? But he has done a good job of trying to eliminate turnovers. He's really done a good job of that. I'll tell you, tonight was the first time we really had a call on him to run the football this year. And he did a great job of running the football this year tonight. And that was one of the things we knew he had done for us last year. That was kind of his thing last year. He was kind of our short yardage guy. He would come in and get big first downs on third and short. But this year he's got everything. So he's done a good job with that. I guess the one thing, if he can do better, he can listen to his dad a little bit more and he'll probably score a few more points.
Hey, as long as he listens to Mama, he's okay. You don't have to listen to you. Hey, Coach, it's always nice, too, when you're playing behind offensive line like he has that returns 4 out of 5 starters.
No doubt. Our offensive line, every guy that's up there played for us and played significant snaps for us, including our 2 tight ends, Josh Harris and Mike Cumholt. So we do a lot of 12 personnel stuff. But our offensive line, we are missing one of our best guys on the front, Colin Hastings. He was only our district lineman last year, and he was a freshman. And he's been out for us so far this season. But all of those guys had experience last year. All 5 guys that are playing for us now played a good bit last year. And then the guy who makes our offense go is Trenton Chaney. He's a UL commit. He's been our starting running back since 2022, the state championship team. He started as a sophomore. But it's been a development of everybody else that we get to move Trenton around, and it really makes us hard to defend because it's kind of like where's Waldo. You got to find defense coordinators have to find Trenton Chaney on the field because he's averaging probably a little over 100 yards rushing a game and probably about 75, 80 yards receiving a game right now. So he's really able to impact the game and make teams have to scheme for him because you don't know where he's going to line up on any play.
Well,
when we first started, and we've talked about this a couple of times, and Dwayne, Jimmy and I and Kate have been talking about these high scores. And I think at one point you were all about 69-68 finals. That was airline over Captain Shreve tonight. And we're like, defensive coordinators have got to be going crazy. How did you deal with your defensive coordinators when y'all were scoring those kind of points and giving up those kind of points?
I wasn't the head coach. My job was to score points. It wasn't to worry about it.
And you changed since you become a head coach.
I changed when I became a head coach. When everything went through me, I'm all for let's run the ball and get out of here.
That's
let's
right.
not put our defense in tough situations. And that really kind of what happened a little bit early in the second half tonight. We were struggling. We were making mistakes. And I'm sure people want us to air it out and start throwing around. But when we backed up on our end, we're playing with a 3-score lead. We don't need to give Vanderbilt Catholic any life. So let's just run the ball, punt it, and let our defense go play. Let's not pin them back and turn the ball over at the -20. let's punt the ball. Let's get it back around midfield. Let's go play defense, and let's try to flip this field position. And maybe we'll get out there on offense, and we won't have a holding penalty or first down, or we won't have a bobbled snap or something like that, and we can get ahead of the chains. And sometimes when your defense is playing well, that's the best thing that you can do in offense is don't put them in a bad situation, and when you get your feet underneath you, take advantage of it.
And I'll tell you this, Todd, not just because he's on air with us, but I've always said for a long time that Dwayne Jenkins is one of the best quarterback coaches in the area. I've stole ideas from him after listening to him at clinics when I was coaching the quarterbacks at Redemptress. That does a lot of phenomenal, really good things with them. He's had some special players come through, and he'll be the first to tell you that, but he does a good job with them.
Patrick Mahomes is a quarterback coach's worst nightmare.
Oh,
no
yeah.
doubt.
Absolutely.
No doubt. But Jimmy, I do appreciate that, but you said it right. I've had the luxury of coaching some really great guys, and probably the best thing about now, I guess now as I get a little bit older into this profession, is starting to see some of the impact that some of those guys are starting to have now. Blaine Gauthier was obviously one of my first guys that I got to coach. He's coaching with the Arizona Cardinals. I'm sure y'all have talked to Lowell Narcisse at Ascension Catholic at some point so far this year. He's the head coach at Ascension Catholic. Gavin Webster's coaching quarterbacks at East St. John. And just recently, a couple of weeks ago, John Trey Kirkland, fresh out of training camp with the 49ers, didn't get picked up on any practice squad, so he's back helping us right now this season. So I'm pretty proud of all of those guys and the work that they've put in and the impact that they're having on kids in the next generation.
Well, Coach, congratulations on a big win tonight, and thank you for your time. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
You know, guys, in District 848, Edie White in that district, and that's going to be an interesting one in about 2 weeks. I think Edie White takes on Lutcher, and Vanderbilt now 4-1 in overall, but interesting how that's going to play out with Edie White and Lutcher. I think South Terrebonne's also kind of in the mix at around 2-2. So interesting.
While we're down there,
Cade, what's the best quarterback coach you know?
Well,
you only have one answer.
Todd Black.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure
he
we're
coached
1-1
offensive
here.
line. I coached the quarterbacks.
How'd that work?
Good.
Okay.
Actually, it did. St. Martin undefeated playing Pope John Paul, both 4-0. Pope John Paul gets the win.
Harlem Berry,
28-21. And then Destrehan. Terrebonne beats Destrehan. Do you see the score? I don't know where I wrote it down at, but
yeah, it was about 9. Wasn't it 30-21?
Something like that. That's a big win for Terrebonne.
I wonder if Jackson
Fields
is still out.
I don't know. You talk about that, Todd. We're gonna mention this STM Westgate deal. STM comes out, like you said, scored 41-0 at halftime. They win 48-6. Westgate was hit by injuries last year. They've been hit by them again this year.
Antoine was out last year, right?
Yes. Well, and Jabari Antoine is a defensive back quarterback, but he's a defensive back committed to Miami. He goes down with what I'm hearing is an ACL. Their backup is Bryant Leon. He goes down with the ACL. So they've lost them both. They're playing a freshman tonight, Caden Lancelin, I think. He's a 28 kid that they say the future's bright for him. But it makes it tough when you're playing against the competition that they've played the last couple of weeks. And that kind of explains a little bit. So,
you know, score that surprised me was General Trias over Bastrop, 12-6.
Yes.
We hadn't heard much from them this year, and to put up in a low-scoring game to come out of there and get that win.
Because Bastrop's been rolling pretty
They've
good.
been rolling. Got the Down brothers over there from Sterlington, more transfers.
There you go. That window is open.
We got to start a transfer portal on our show.
If we can start NIL, why not?
They got that too.
Ryan's value just went up. He sold some advertising this year.
Who was it that just was it a Louisiana kid? Somebody just bought their team all Adidas cleats.
Todd got us all BSN.
Yes.
Yeah. Saw Scott out at the game today. Appreciate him.
That's right. That's right. We'll take a timeout. We got some more scores to get to and more stats, as well as our helmet stickers at the end of the night. This is the Week 5 edition of the Louisiana Prep Scoreboard, presented by Lake Urgent Care on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and Your View.
At Louisiana Turf Cleaning, our number one priority is athlete safety. We specialize in sanitizing and general cleaning maintenance of artificial turf sports fields. From the constant wear and tear on the field to the bacteria, mold, and viruses that get under those turf fibers, we take care of it all. We also remove any unseen metal in the turf that could potentially cut an athlete. For more information, call me, Kerry Myers, to get a quote today, 504-453-6950. And let Louisiana Turf Cleaning keep your playing surface safe, 504-453-6950.
Don't have time for a stomach virus?
I don't have time to be sick today.
When you're sick after hours or weekends, you don't have time to wait around. Save time and money and feel better faster with Lake Urgent Care and Lake After Hours.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further. Like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial properties. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
Coach Mahaffey from Walker High School, and you're listening to Louisiana Prep Scoreboard with Kay, Todd, and Jimmy on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Welcome back to the Week 5 edition of Louisiana Prep Scoreboard, presented by Lake Urgent Care, Kate Wazan, Todd Black, and Jimmy Roy, as we roll into the midway point, or now almost wrapping up the midway point of the regular season. Looking at North and Central Louisiana right now, you know, coming into tonight, one of the teams that's been red hot and is legit. I think you're going to see a lot more and hear a lot more from them down the road. Dynamic quarterback in Des Ellis, but Franklin Parish falls tonight to Ouachita, 51-47.
Nothing wrong with that.
No.
4-0.
Playing
well. Yeah. See how they finish this year. I think they can make a run in that division in the playoffs. Talking about up north, you have Alexandria continue to stay hot. West Monroe with a big win. You have Ruston playing Stevensville, Florida, Texas tomorrow at Ruston. You have 2 5A starts next week. 2 big games is West Monroe at Ash and Ruston at Washita.
Well, and another one up there while you're talking about Franklin Parish, they're going to be playing West Washita. So that's going to be the real big one for that district championship.
The districts up there, 1 5A and 2 5A, these are some districts loaded with some teams that are really running the gambit right now. And in 1 5A, Airline, Parkway, Huntington's only got 1 loss. Burgess has their first loss, and that 2 5A is pretty deep too. I know we talked about 9 5A a while ago and how they're going to beat each other up. Ash has played pretty well. Obviously, we know what Neville's done. Ruston's been on a roll, even playing out in Texas. And you mentioned Washita Parish, West Monroe. It's interesting that these districts, the way things are playing out, I'm really excited to see what happens in the back half in their district play.
So, did any of y'all follow the Parkway situation? Did y'all see that? They win last night. They play Bird, both coming in undefeated. Parkway wins 46-35 to go to 5-0. But this story is one of the most incredible stories I've ever heard of. Their starting quarterback for Parkway, Caleb Williams, he goes out last week with a shoulder injury. He did not play. Don't know if he'll be back the rest of the week. Then this year, they suspend 8 starters, most of them their skill guys. They go to a quarterback, they call a kid named Gavin Farrington, who's a centenary lacrosse commit. He quit football 3 years ago, hadn't played. They basically come get him out of the bleachers, and he joins the team this week. He throws 2 touchdowns. He leads Parkway to a victory with 3 practices. He goes 12 for 13 for 140 yards and 2 touchdowns. And he converted multiple 3rd and 4th down opportunities.
Had nothing to lose, did he?
No.
That's very impressive.
I mean, that is crazy. To be able to put a few plays together, to be able in just 3 days with a kid who hasn't played
12 of 13
in 3 years.
12 of 13.
Yeah. 12 of 13, man. And C.J. Dudley, running back, had 210 yards, 4 touchdowns.
Why don't we have that
Camaro,
coach on?
Mayo, 78 yards. He's probably sleeping. They played last night. So,
man.
But yeah, we're going to have to definitely get him on the next Friday that they play.
That's impressive. Yeah.
Yeah.
Raw talent to come out there and be able to pick up the playbook, pick out a couple of things you can do well, and going up against a team that's been red hot in Bird.
Yeah, this wasn't, no disrespect, but plain dealing or somebody, who hadn't won a game in forever.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, to do it against an undefeated team. And I think Jason Pope is a defensive coordinator up there, and Bird's been playing well. It's incredible.
Well, I mean, how do you know? I mean, I don't know how you get in and get to learn those plays to be able to complete 12 of 13.
I wonder how many different plays they had him set up for that night. You know what I'm saying? It had to be very basic. They could only do a couple formations. Remember, not only that, all their skill guys are out also. So, I mean, what he had, maybe 3 pass plays and 3 run plays, 4 run plays maybe?
A guy who hadn't been under center or hadn't played ball in some time, throw into guys who hadn't been in the position they were in to catch the ball or make the plays.
It's basically their JV team minus their offensive line.
Their quarterback's not even JV-esque.
No.
He's a lacrosse commit. This game's easy. It ain't that hard.
He has to be a pretty smart kid to pick up things also.
He's going to centenary.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wassman over Carroll in that annual rivalry, 20-15.
Tell them what it was.
Baby Bayou Classic?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Baby Bayou Classic, Squirrel Bowl. What else we had? I mean,
Huntington over Evangel, and I bring that up because Evangel was a team that started out. Certainly we know Pop Houston, but they hadn't lost a district game in I don't know how long, and then I believe this is their third straight loss.
I don't think they had ever lost a 1-5A game in the time that they were up. They went undefeated every year. Now they haven't won a game.
But they're close. You got to remember, they're the ones who decided to jump up. They're rebuilding that program, trying to get it back to where it used to be, and they're close.
I'm going to get on a small soapbox here for just a
Lord.
second.
Sure.
You mentioned Pop Houston.
Yeah.
And how, he's supposed to be this dynamic quarterback. It's about social media. Social media is taking this kid and putting him on a pedestal.
Yeah.
And he's 2-3. What are we doing? I mean, it happens all the time. You see guys coming into to U-High or wherever, and they're ranked all these stars. And people need to understand who's giving them these stars. They're not coaches. And it's like, and I'm just saying quarterback, for example, and that's nothing against the kid. I'm just saying he's 2-3. But, defensive lineman, and Coach Jenkins just said a minute ago, if one of his guys was just an inch or two taller, he would get all these
offers.
Yeah. And Jimmy and I think that's crazy. I think you can either play the game or you can't. And we talked about one of the quarterbacks we've had. But it's social media these days, just, these guys that can't walk and chew gum are anointing these kids to be freaking the next – Archie Manning or whatever, and they don't know anything about him.
You talk about Coach Jenkins. What was it? Lunch would never get all the plays he made, and he'd never get the offers. And you would love to have a kid on your team like that.
And I want
from Leesville, the same thing, right? Coach talks about how great of a kid he is, and he's making all these numbers.
Yeah.
And I want to mention what Todd is saying. He's not taking a shot at the kid.
No,
it's not the kid's fault. It's social media's fault.
Yes.
You can go talk to any coach in the city, the state, wherever you want, and they hate the social media aspect of it. I mean, you'll see kids that are
it's an outside influence that gets into
what's the 7-on-7 crap that goes on during the summer. That's just a money grab.
Yeah, what's that? What's the team from South Louisiana that they go all over the country and they promote these taunting and things? They make highlight videos of the taunting and stuff, Boot Boys or whatever it's called. I don't know, but social media is out of hand with these kids, for sure. You mentioned Xavier Ford.
Make sure you step down.
You mentioned Xavier Ford.
Yeah.
364 yards tonight, 7 touchdowns. He's 1 touchdown shy of Cecil Collins.
He went over 1,000 last week?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so he's 1 touchdown shy of Cecil Collins' touchdown record at Leesville.
And if y'all missed that interview, we had the coach on, and he talked about how great of a kid he is. So he's a better kid than he is an athlete, but he's not getting very many offers. He's
had a few small offers, and I say small, ULL. I know Houston's talked to him, but
Power
even then, Coach Causey was saying he didn't know if the UL offer was still good because they never come back. And they don't even go through him to say, hey, we're offering this kid. He reads about it on social media. That's where he's getting it from. Don't understand it.
Kind of kid you'd love to have on your team.
Just look on the sidelines. You'll see the social media people we're talking about.
Yeah. JFK forfeits 3 wins. Mm-hmm. They've now dropped to 1-4. These New Orleans schools have got to get their eligibility issues corrected. I don't know. It's a lot for a coach to be an AD. They either have to have in big schools. They either have to have an AD in today's world. You need an AD who is an AD only, and that's his only job, or you have to have an AD with a hired secretary to do a lot of the paperwork. That's the only way it works.
I mean, there's a lot of kids that you have to monitor, and you're 100% right. You've got to have multiple people doing it. You cannot have one.
Because it affects the kids on the team who have been putting forth, and everything you've been working on, it's not a knock on those kids, but they've been putting in some hard work. They've been winning some games. They've been doing making some real good headway. And it's a little deflating in a sense because now they're directly affected by something that really you'd wish would be cleaned up on the office side.
And we immediately think, oh, they were trying to cheat. That's not always the case.
No.
It's like There's mistakes that go through there are.
It's usually very minor.
Yeah.
It's usually a paperwork or a computer issue.
Right.
Where you just didn't fill something out or you filled it out wrong. And there are cases where it's just flat out cheap.
Yeah.
But most the cases are not that. It's lack of knowing how to do it in some cases.
Let's take a timeout. We'll get back to another round of scores. When we return, this is Louisiana Prep Scoreboard, Week 5 edition, presented by Lake Urgent Care on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and Your View.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
Don't have time for cold or flu?
I don't have time for the cold or the flu.
We're here to help with easy, convenient online check-in, virtual visits, or walk-in care. When you don't have time to be sick, feel better faster at Lake Urgent Care and Lake After Hours.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
The best kept secret.
Making the bus ride back home better since 2011. The Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show with Cade, Todd, and Jimmy. Presented by Lake Urgent Care on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Welcome back to the Week 5 edition of Louisiana Prep Scoreboard, presented by Lake Urchin Care. Cade Wazan, Todd Black, and Jimmy Roy. We'll get Skip in here in just a second to give you a full scoreboard. Want to remind you, if I can pull up this flyer here.
While you're doing that, I know what you're pulling up, but I want to mention Cecilia defeats Notre Dame 50-46. Diesel Solari, who was injured in the second series last week against Central, I don't know if it made a difference in the total outcome, but I think they'd have scored a few points last weekend. Didn't know his stats, but from what I'm reading, he did play tonight. And for Cecilia to put up 50 points against Notre Dame, that's back-to-back weeks that Notre Dame has given up a lot of points. They gave up 42 last week to Catholic High of New Iberia. That's the third straight loss for Notre Dame, and that's the Turlings, Catholic High of New Iberia, and then Cecilia tonight. I'd love to know, maybe Lou the third can text you and tell you when is the last time that Notre Dame's lost 3 in a row. That just does not happen. They're so well coached.
Mm-hmm. Want to mention the West Feliciana dance team's first annual chili cook-off. You can get your team together for the event on October 19th. It'll be 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. over at Parker Park. You can have a 4-person team for $100 a team, $50 per team for a youth team to put together. It's a family-friendly event. You can get in there with a $5 taste ticket and try some of this great chili. This event will be held in conjunction with the West Feliciana Color Dash. So for more information, email malazos@wfpsb.org. That's MILAZZOS @wfpsb.org.
And again, before we get off air, I know we still have a little bit of time left, but I see y'all finally cleaned y'all's plates off.
Yeah.
Again, South Plains Food Company, Joel Frost up there, and Zachary, we want to thank you. Todd got a little bit of the stuffed chicken. Yeah, everybody's raving about it.
Got it all.
You got it all. They do an incredible job.
Yep.
Yeah, there is nothing that's safe out there on that table. It has all been tried, and everything they've sent us in the couple of times we've had a chance to sample their food is outstanding. Make the trip up there to Zachary. You will not regret it. That patio area is so nice. I bet you that'd be great next weekend when the weather is going to be a little cooler.
Yeah.
For LSU Ole Miss.
What, in the 50s, right? Next Friday night?
Yeah. Low 60s. Should be nice. Get on the patio, get you a beverage, hydrate, even when it's colder.
They got a patio out there. Yeah, you saw.
Mm-hmm. Looks nice. I was thinking about going out there, getting a beverage, getting some of those smoked wings, watching the ball game. It's a good place to be. South Plains.
Brock and I and Steve Davis and his brother went there one time. We after played golf at Copper Mill.
Short drive?
Yeah, it was a short drive. It was good. It was raining that day, but we had a lot of fun.
I was talking about Steve Davis's golf game.
Kind of rough.
My neighbors, I told them about it, South Plains, and heck, they make it. They go about every other week now. And the biggest thing they talk about, not only the food, but the wait staff over there is outstanding.
Well, let's get you caught up on scores if we can get Skip in here, and we'll go through all 5 regions. And by the way, you can find a full scoreboard watching on YouTube, the 104.5 ESPN YouTube channel, or by watching us on your view at the bottom of the screen. We've got a full statewide scoreboard ticker. Let's get you caught up on some of the highlights from each region, and we'll start first in the capital city.
The Capital City Scoreboard, insured by State Farm.
Central over Lafayette Christian 31-22. Dutchtown over Sandoval 24-21. Donaldsonville defeats White Castle 27-8. Madison Prep's a 54-31 winner over Parkview. University 29, St. Paul 12. Zachary is a 24-6 winner over Opelousas. East Ascension over Live Oak 18-14. And Denham Springs 38, Southern Lab 12.
The New Orleans Bayou Scoreboard, presented by Investar Bank.
St. James over St. Charles 15-11. Shaw defeats De La Salle 31-13. Brother Martin over Rummel 17-13. Holy Cross over Jesuit 21-7. John Curtis defeats Warren Easton 26-7. Endicott and St. Aug play tomorrow night at 7. Vermilion Catholic 49, Riverside 34, and Terrebonne 30, Destrehan 21.
The Acadiana Scoreboard, fueled by frogs at Magnolia Beach.
Huntington defeats Evangel 28-27. Minden over Loyola Prep 28-13. Ouachita defeats Franklin Parish 51-47. Neville over Sterlington 17-10. West Monroe blanks Scotlandville 50-0. Wassman defeats Carroll 20-15. Airline shootout over Captain Shreve 69-68. And Kinder 26. Logansport 12.
The North Shore Scoreboard, Louisiana connected Scoreboard. By Rev.
Hammond over Slidell 42-14. Amite over Kentwood 28-25. Northlake Christian 28. Brobridge 7. Pine shuts out Varnado 44-0. Pope John Paul 28. St. Martin's Episcopal 21. Franklinton 42. Jewel Sumner 39. Lakeshore over Salmon 31-26. And Mandeville blanks North Shore 42-0.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
BRAC teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. BRAC, your #1 park system in the nation.
At Relief Windows, we're more than windows. We're windows, doors, hardy plank, and vinyl siding. But our #1 product is always customer satisfaction. Visit us online at reliefwindows.com.
At Louisiana Turf Cleaning, our #1 priority is athlete safety. We specialize in sanitizing and general cleaning maintenance of artificial turf sports fields. From the constant wear and tear on the field to the bacterial, mold, and viruses that get under those turf fibers, we take care of it all. We also remove any unseen metal in the turf that could potentially cut an athlete. For more information, call me, Kerry Myers, to get a quote today, 504-453-6950. And let Louisiana Turf Cleaning keep your playing surface safe, 504-453-6950.
Don't have time for a new rash?
I don't have time for this.
We're here to help with convenient virtual visits on your computer or any mobile device. If you don't have time to be sick, feel better faster with Lake Urgent Care and Lake After Hours.
Now back to the Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show with Cade, Todd, and Jimmy. Presented by Lake Urgent Care on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
All right, let's go ahead and honor some of the top performances tonight with our helmet stickers.
Highlighting tonight's top performers. This is Helmet Stickers on the Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show.
I should find a new way to intro that segment so I don't say the same thing the voice girl says. But Coach Todd Black, who would you like to give a helmet sticker to?
I'm going to go to Catholic Point Compete. Being down 26-0, being down like you mentioned anytime is tough. But 1A school, I think Livonia's 4A, maybe 3A. I'm not sure. Even though Livonia's struggling, still when you're down 26-0, you got to dig deep. And obviously Catholic Point Compete did. They come back with a big win.
We had Coach Caruth on Wednesday night on our show, and he's doing a good job. Second year, they went from the flex bone to a spread offense. They're still a run-first team, and he's doing a good job over there. Mine's a no-brainer this week. It goes to Parkway and Gavin Farrington. The story about the kid who's been in the bleachers for 3 years comes out and goes 12 for 13 for 140 yards and 2 touchdowns. Hadn't played ball in 3 years, and having 8 of his teammates. Well, I guess they hadn't been his teammates because he hadn't played.
No.
But he's literally in the bleachers last week in the student section.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the easy one. That's the easiest one I've ever had.
Give me the Ascension Catholic Bulldogs and Coach Narcisse getting the win over Episcopal, something that the school hadn't done in 24 years. And Ascension Catholic has played well so far this season. I'd like to see where they can go. I will add a caveat because I would like to maybe not a helmet sticker, maybe it's an adult hydration beverage for both defensive coordinators, for Airline and Captain Shreve. Have one on me, coaches, tonight.
And the referees of that game. Think of how much they're running up and down the field.
Well, it's funny you say that because I text Coach Justin Skog and I said, you need to give your DC a raise. He said, you mean the HC? I said, yeah, him too.
Whew, man. Another hats off tonight to Coach Brett Beard and Denham Springs. They get the win tonight, played a lot better offensively. We know that defense has played well. Offense clicked tonight, and they snapped a big winning streak that Southern Lab had, I believe, 14 games going into tonight. So, seeing them step outside of district play and then go back in next week, and they will do so with a win under their belt, and seemingly they are getting better each week.
And Coach Clarkston up at Charter, they get a win, 54-0 win over Northeast. We had him on Wednesday. He's doing a really good job up there. And then East Ascension, too. Brock Mathern, they were able to go get a big win over Live Oak. He's trying to rebuild some of the glory, get back to some of the glory days of EA, and I think he's doing a good job. It's just going to take a little bit of time.
You know something about Southern Lab, too, even though they're on the losing end of that, they get 8 points automatically. Plus, they get Denham's wins, which, I think they've won.
They're 4-1 now.
4-1. So they got
Central.
So they got 12 points. So it's like a win. So that's kind of what the power points and that 2-point offset's supposed to do. It's kind of a win-win and not make a 1A team afraid to play a 5A team. So in that particular scenario, it worked out pretty well.
And North Iberville gets another win?
Yes, they do.
Awesome.
They 30-8 over Vinton. And let me give you a little real quick. I got talked about junior quarterback Jackson Frederick from Centerville, 12 carries, 95 yards, 4 touchdowns. He was 15 of 17 for 202 yards. I'm kind of confused on the kickoffs. Maybe he had 8 returns for 318 yards. I'm not sure. No, that couldn't be it. But anyway, but he had a really good game. So that's Jackson Frederick, the junior at Centerville. We always like to keep that contact. Glad you boys down there are safe, away from these hurricanes.
For sure, for sure. Thanks again to South Plains for feeding us tonight. It was incredible. But thanks also to our friends at BSN Sports. Seeing Scott out there remind us, look, they're the best supply network in sports for a reason. Whatever name brand you're looking for, whatever gear you're looking for, they can help equip and outfit your teams. BSNsports.com. Looking forward, maybe hopefully next weekend. Maybe it's a little too early, but got a very nice quarter zip we got last week. Want to show it off. We'll see, but we always love the partnership with BSN Sports. They make us look good. They can do the same for your team as well.
We had Rock and I went somewhere the other day, and he pulled out his little Starlet checking from Investar, his little card. I said, man, you like that? He said, I really do. He said, it makes it a lot easier. And he's like, by the way, how much money I got in my account?
Yeah, put some more, Dad.
That was coming.
That is an account for 13 to 17-year-olds at Investar Bank, Starlet Checking.
You still keep the little ledger to write down, where with the checks, so they don't do that anymore? I don't know.
No, they do have something for that. I've never done that in my life. My parents used to do it like every Sunday. They'd sit down all the checks and everything. But
do that when you get the groceries, too. I sat in line behind that. All right, next Friday, week 6. We look forward to it. Louisiana Prep Scoreboard, presented by Lake Urgent Care.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
The best kept secret in town is out. Discover Tallulah at the Renaissance Hotel on Bluebonnet.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood Subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.